my candle. I'm gonna light some sage. Today I'm speaking on the divine feminine, talking about Heavenly Mother, Sophia, the creatrix. And I just want to set the space, clear myself, offer smoke to those who feel called to receive. And just ask the Mother, ask Sophia to open my heart and allow me to share from my heart the things that are in my heart today about the Mother, Sophia. So it's been a very busy summer for me. I haven't been able to sit down and make videos like I'd hoped. I spent a week helping my sister who is disabled go to doctor's appointments and just taking care of some health issues for her. And while I was visiting her for a week, I came across this crystal that reminded me of the divine feminine. You can even almost see a face in that. This is malachite. And this almost looks like a child kind of being cradled in her arms. And it looks like she's wearing a shawl. This crystal just really spoke to me because it felt so like it was carrying divine feminine energy. And it literally called to me across town. I knew there was something in the little crystal shop there, and I came away with this crystal and another one that also called to me once I was there, but this was the one that was calling me before. So I picked this one up on the 9th of July, and then my husband and I attended his 40th high school reunion on the 12th. And this is how spirit works sometimes. It's in those moments where you least expect a sign or anything to show up when you get prayers answered, just out of the blue. And that's what happened to me on the 12th, in the middle of his high school reunion. We were seated for dinner, and when I think about how all the things had to line up so perfectly for me to witness what I witnessed, it's just a testimony to another fact of it was divine timing. It was perfect. So I'm facing a row of windows in an area of the school that was added on from when we went to high school there, because my husband and I both went to the same high school. And I was sitting down looking. I happened to look up from my mail, and there was this beautiful fireball just flying through the sky. But in that moment, it was like slow motion. I know it was only a few seconds that the fireball passed by the window in my field of vision, but that flash of light that lasted, say, maybe 5 seconds made a huge impact on me. And it was a beautiful fireball against a blue sky. It was like a mini sun. It was white with kind of a yellow glow around it, and then there was color coming off of that yellow rim, blue and green I could see, and then just the faintest bit of pink And I just watched it getting closer and closer. And for a second there, I'm like, looks like it might just come right through the window. But clearly it was way high, and it was only in my field of vision for a few seconds. But the meaning of witnessing a fireball, spiritually, it has a pretty profound meaning. It's a sign of transformation. It's a sign of a marker. You are one way before that moment, and you're going to be a different way after. It can be that profound. And that absolutely was true for me. I view that experience as the beginning of a big shift for me in my life, personally. Some really big decisions that I've been playing with or thinking about over the past 6 weeks, I got answers to. That night, July 12th, I had extremely lucid, prophetic dreams for myself that night. So much so, it was when I woke up, I was just in awe at what I had been shown. And you really can't put words into some of those experiences that are otherworldly. But I knew it marked a big shift for me. And for me, it was a sign of the divine feminine coming back in a very, very strong, bold way. It's what is needed right now. We have so much, our world is so out of balance, and a huge reason for that is people are so out of balance. And this idea of bringing in to balance the divine masculine and the divine feminine within ourselves. If there's more people who can wake up and walk in that balance within themselves, it will have a ripple effect in this world that we are trying to navigate right now in these shifting times, because that's what it is. This is, you can call it shifting from the age of Pisces to the age of Aquarius. My Christian friends are looking to the return of Jesus and Armageddon and all that is involved with that prophecy that has to play out before Christ can come back. I say the revelation that is needed is not an outer one. It is not looking for a savior to come and clean up our mess, but it is an inward obligation that we each have to become better humans. And in some respects, I agree with the thinking that we really haven't crossed the line to call ourselves humans. We are still acting like animals. We're intelligent animals. We're above, our intelligence has grown, but we're still not acting in a human-like way on this planet. We are very much in our animal nature, not our divine spiritual nature. And I think that is one of the shifts that is taking place on this planet right now, helping to, I think the poles are getting ready to flip, and that takes time, just like it takes time for humanity to make the switch from this very animal, reptilian way of thinking and being in this world to shift into that balanced, divine, sacred union, marriage of the masculine and feminine within us that would allow us to evolve into better human beings, because right now we just are scratching the surface of what it means to be human. And you don't have to look very far into the news to find proof of that. So that profound experience while I was away helping my sister helped prepare me for what was next in my life. My major shift happened on the 19th. A week later, I blew a disc in my back. Now, if any of you have read my story, Sacred Light, I share my journey from Mormon to Mystic in a book. And it really started with blowing a disc in my back. I was 100% true believing Mormon, and then suffered for a year with 2 blown discs in my back. And when I finally got the surgery, after a year of physical therapy and injections, trying everything, pills, the surgery is what saved my sanity, but it's also what forced me to have a timeout in my life. And it is the reason I found the deceptions in the Mormon Church while I was on a 2-week bed rest after back surgery. And literally within 2 weeks, my testimony was completely gone of the Mormon Church. It took about 2 years for me to dismantle Christianity and to find the Gnostic Gospels and find this whole other side of Yeshua, Mary Magdalene, the 12 apostles. There is so much hidden meaning to their stories and to their messages. So I still resonate with Christianity, but I resonate more with Gnosticism. And that's where I am right now with learning about Sophia, learning about Barbelo and Heavenly Mother, the goddess. And so, yeah, I just found it very interesting that I see this sign in the sky, and then a week later I blow another disc, which is in my mid back, not my lower back. And typically they don't like to do surgery on those unless they are severe. And right now, I just saw a doctor yesterday. I go to physical therapy tomorrow, and the medication that he has given me is definitely helped with the pain. Helped me to at least be able to sit and stand and walk, which are all things I don't take for granted. So that's where I'm at. I have a physical initiation. Shamanic initiations can come in that form of a physical trial or a sign, a very profound sign that sets you on a spiritual path, or levels you up on your spiritual path. And that's how I'm treating this experience that I'm going into, not knowing what this means for me as far as what physical limitations it might call for in the future. But some really beautiful things have come into my space this week as well. An opportunity to be in with a circle of women studying the goddesses for the next 13 months, next 13 moons gathering together. That is an opportunity that just came to me that I feel was divinely inspired and divinely timed. And I'm writing a book on the goddess, Heavenly Mother, and I think having this back injury is kind of making me take a step back from what I had planned to do. My to-do list was very long and intensive, and now I'm just having to readjust my thinking and my expectations as to what I can and can't do because of this little timeout I'm being forced to take, to rethink, and to reconnect. One of the things that has come up for me was there's a book called The Presence Process. If you haven't heard of it, it's a really good thing to look up. If it resonates with you, you'll know it. And it's a process that takes 10 weeks to go through, and I'm feeling called to redo that. I've done it a couple times, feeling like this is a reset time for me. So presence process and going back and doing my Kundalini awakening challenge, that's also coming back. It's a 44-day reset from started out under the Shift Network, but now I think you can find it under 1,000 Suns Academy. I highly recommend that if learning about the Kundalini, learning about the Sacred Mother. She left that beautiful little spark of herself within every one of us that sits at the base of our spine. And I do have a video talking about my experience when it fully awakened. It was not a typical awakening. Most are not that dramatic, but I'll probably put a link to that in the description. I just want to clarify that I worked specifically for 3 years on those Kundalini activations, but honestly, the preparation for awakening Kundalini started when I left the Mormon Church in 2011 and set onto this spiritual path. So it's a process of taking away things that no longer serve you, no longer will be in resonance with you, if you are truly ready to awaken the mother within you, that Kundalini. It's tied to our sexual energy, our creative center, and one of the things you learn is how to bring that energy up, in and up the spine instead of out and down. Just like every light casts a shadow, the Kundalini is what I would call the light, and the Kundabuffer is the shadow aspect of the Kundalini. And those are, the Kundabuffer is not talked about. You can find a lot of information on Kundalini and how to raise it and how to experience it and what its purpose is, but very little is talked about the Kundabuffer, which is the shadow side. And if you're taking your sexual energy and allowing that orgasm to go out and down for a man to spill their seed or release semen, that is creating the Kundabuffer. Satan is sometimes depicted as having a tail like a dragon or a serpent. That is representative of the Kundabuffer. That is a person who is using their lower nature, their animal nature, and instead of raising the Kundalini, they are experiencing the Kundabuffer, which does create that tail, that connection. So every time you are orgasming and having that energy go down, you are connecting deeper to your animal nature and the serpent's tail, instead of the raising the serpent. It's all there in the Bible, but it is so misunderstood. The mother is there in the scriptures as well, but she's hidden. And the mother is the Kundalini energy. It is that sacred sexual energy that we use to create people, and we use to create life, our passions, the things that we want to do in this world. We're using that sacred energy. And that's why I think it's really important to ask questions, to get curious, and to find out the hidden meanings. You can still believe it literally if you need to. But once you start reading some of the works like Alvin Boyd Kuhn, George W. Carey, and get a different picture of the Bible and the stories and the meaning of the connection to your body. Did you know that Jesus, Yeshua, Mary Magdalene are inside of you as the pituitary and the pineal gland? And when they marry, they create the divine sacred union within you. Peter, James, John, they're in you as well. The 12 apostles are 12 powers within your body. They have very specific roles and meaning. It's all biology. So yes, you can read it and take it literally, but you are missing a huge chunk of important information that will change your life. I'll share the book another time that talks about the roles of the 12 apostles, the 12 cranial nerves, their meaning, their role in your life, and how it is imperative to learn to use them and control them. And the 7 sins, turn those into vices. Virtues, sins are the vices, and we want to turn them into virtues. I do that a lot with my dyslexia, mix up words. So last thing I just want to share about Sophia, the Sacred Mother, and I've said this before, she meets you where your consciousness is at. She is wisdom, and she will not give you more than you can handle. She will not show you more of herself than you can handle. She is a loving mother. There's so many faces of Sophia when you start digging into the Gnostic Gospels and learning about her. And one of the reasons is because she presents herself to you as you need to see her, which is why she has so many faces and names. And she can be the Dark Mother. She can be the Mother of Light, all loving, all forgiving. The story of Sophia is a very, very beautiful one. She came down to humanity to help us all, not in the patriarchal way with a blood sacrifice and this need for obedience. There's none of that. She accepts you exactly as you are, sins and all. There is no shame when you meet Sophia. She helps you understand that, and this also is in our Bible, this idea, the concept that all things shall be for our good. That even the really hard, shitty stuff that we have to go through can be turned around and can be for our good, for our growth, for our evolution. That is Sophia. There is no hell associated with Sophia. Our only hell is the state of mind that we put ourselves in. Hell has swinging doors. You don't have to stay in that mindset. You can get yourself out at any time. But we do it to ourselves. It is a state of mind, and it is very much can be a state that we experience while we're here. There is hell on this earth, for sure. But there is also heaven. And again, hell and heaven is in the body. Hell is the heel that keep us grounded to this material plane. Heaven is the head that connects us to the spirit realm. Everything that you can find in the Bible, you can find an association with the body, the soul, the mind. It's a really, really beautiful thing when you see it. You can't unsee it. As so many things just make more sense when you bring the divine feminine back into her proper place, alongside the divine masculine, which is why I love the Gnostic Gospels, putting Jesus and Mary on the same plane. They are both divine and they both serve a purpose, and one is not over the other. One is not more enlightened than the other. Jesus, Yeshua, and Mary Magdalene, who was not a sinner. That was also a distortion of her story, a way to bring shame. And we just had Mary Magdalene's feast day on the 22nd, yesterday, where she was honored by the Catholic Church, but not as an equal. They banished the Gnostic Gospels. They were not accepting of the messages that the Gnostics believed. This week in time of July 21st through the 26th is a very, very significant week. And it starts on the 21st with honoring women who were burned at the stake, who were accused of being witches. The 21st is a day for witches to recognize and be honored for the women who use their powers, the women who use their spiritual gifts and continue to use their spiritual gifts, even though they still today can be persecuted for that. Then we have on the 22nd, Mary Magdalene's feast day, honoring the sacred feminine that was embodied by Heavenly Mother, by the goddess, to be the equal representation of the divine feminine in the physical form. They tried to erase her, but she is coming back and she is waking up in a lot of her daughters. Then we have July 25th, the day out of time, where our galactic clock resets. It is a good day for manifestation. It is a good day to call in what you want for the next year. It is another new year. And then July 26th is when that clock starts over. and the new year begins, the galactic new year begins, and it opens us up to Lionsgate, the portal for Lionsgate. And we're in, the constellation of Leo this time. The new moon is on the 24th, tomorrow. So yeah, it's a powerful week. Powerful week for manifesting, a powerful week for waking up. And usually there is something profound that happens in my life on this week. And this year it was a big wake-up call, timeout, blown disc for me in my back. So yeah, I get to have some slow down, rethink, see what comes to me, and I still feel very much called to share my Mormon story, my Mormon history on this channel as I go from Mormon to mystic. And I do hope I can make a few more videos this week, since I'm not doing housework. I'm not bending over and lifting stuff. Just going to physical therapy, taking my muscle relaxers, and healing, sending lots of good healing energy to my body, eating good food, that kind of thing, taking care of myself and listening, meditation, all these things to help heal my body, and then to reveal what to share next. I do believe there is one very powerful story that I want to share about my fourth child serving a mission. I want to tell my story of that experience, what it was like as a mother who had left the church to have a son choose to go on a mission, and the hell that he went through, that I went through because of it. Yet we both learned so much, and I see now with hindsight, there was really no other way. It was what was supposed to happen on both our paths. It's a story that I've already shared on another channel. I shared it in 2019 when I was going through the experience. I would like to share it again and kind of, I'm 6 years out from that experience, so I have a little more, it's not as raw in my heart. So that is probably what I will talk about next. And then we'll see where spirit directs. Namaste.